We begin with the U.S. election. Comments made last night by Donald Trump are facing intense scrutiny today. He appeared to threaten a political opponent with violence. Trump was talking about Liz Cheney, the former Republican congresswoman who has campaigned with Kamala Harris in recent weeks. Minutes ago, Harris addressed Trump's comments after landing in Wisconsin.
He has increased his violent rhetoric, Donald Trump has, about political opponents, and in great detail, suggested rifles should be trained on former Representative Liz Cheney. This must be disqualifying. Anyone who wants to be president of the United States who uses that kind of violent rhetoric is clearly disqualified and unqualified to be president.
The CBC's Karen Pauls is tracking developments today from Washington. She has more on what Trump said and the reaction to those comments.
Former President Donald Trump made what some are calling an ominous threat against former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney. He insinuated she should be shot. Now, Cheney is one of Trump's most prominent critics who's been campaigning with Vice President Kamala Harris. She also sat on the House committee investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol, and she voted to impeach Trump. I'll let you hear directly what Trump said about her.
She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. You know, when the guns are trained on her face.
Cheney has responded on social media saying this is how dictators destroy free nations. They threaten those who speak against them with death. We cannot entrust our country and our freedom to a petty, vindictive, cruel, unstable man who wants to be a tyrant. Others are also responding. Take a listen to some of these clips.
The threat of violence is completely out of bounds, You can disagree with Liz Cheney. She was just in campaigning for me. She and I don't agree on a lot of things, right? But that doesn't mean we threaten violence.
He was not calling for her assassination or anything like that. It was clearly saying, if she wanted to go to war, then she ought to be out there on the lines.
It's a jarring comment. This idea that a major presidential nominee, a former president, would talk about a political opponent being put in front of a firing squad or setting guns upon that person.
A retired federal judge is also describing the comment as reprehensible. He's urging Americans, especially Republicans, to watch and, quote, ponder those un-American words by Donald Trump before they cast their votes on Tuesday. The Trump campaign is saying it's a more general comment and that if Liz Cheney wants to advocate for war, she should be on the front lines.
So, Karen, this is, as you mentioned, the final weekend for campaigning before Election Day on Tuesday. Where are Harris and Trump today?
They're both in the state of Wisconsin, which is one of those swing states. Sunday is the deadline for early voting there. Harris has a concert and a rally at the Wisconsin State Fairground featuring performances by big names like Glorilla and MC Lyte. Cardi B is expected to speak. Trump will be holding a rally just 10 kilometers away. And Wisconsin is one of those really close races. Polls show Harris holds the slimmest of leads over Trump. Trump now is increasingly undermining public confidence in this election, saying he will win on Tuesday unless there's cheating. And there's been a lot of disinformation about election fraud. I'll give you one example. Georgia's Secretary of State is flagging a false claim on social media that illegal Haitians are being flown into the U.S., into Georgia, to vote for Harris. Brad Raffensperger says there's a fake video circulating. He's asked X's owner, Elon Musk, to take it down. Musk, of course, is a Trump supporter. Here's Raffensperger.
We know it's easy to cast a ballot, and we know it's hard to cheat. It's really as simple as that.
More than 65 million Americans have already voted. That beats the early voter turnout record from 2020 during the pandemic. And Andrew, it's still a toss-up.
The CBC's Karen Pauls in Washington. Now an update on that fake video about voting in Georgia that Karen was just talking about. The U.S. intelligence community has now assessed the video and confirms it was made by Russian actors attempting to interfere in the U.S. election.